Hey again folks, and welcome back to another unboxing video. And today we'll be taking a look at some Capsule Plarail items that I recently purchased. And I wasn't planning on purchasing these items, however earlier on I purchased some Capsule Plarail pieces from the same seller, being Spencer and Rheneas, which his mechanism didn't work, but I wasn't too concerned about it because I mainly just bought him for a project. However, Spencer was supposed to come with his tender and he didn't. And when I contacted the seller about it, they said that they accidentally forgot to put it in the package and they send it to me free of charge. But I told them, well, let me try to help the both of us out, and I'll buy some other Capsule Plarail items that I'm interested in, and you can just send Spencer's tender with those. So that's what we agreed on. But that little backstory out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this package. Alright, go ahead and get into this. I did find my knife, by the way. It was on the other side of the workshop, why I couldn't locate it. But yeah, go ahead and open up the package here and see what goodies reside within. Okay. Everything is thrown in a bag. And I believe the seller did say they threw in some extras, which, oh boy. Okay, let's see what we got here. Quite a bit of stuff, actually. Okay, here is everything out of the package, and as you can see, I've got quite a few characters. We got Rusty, Frankie, James, Emily, Spencer's tender to go along with him now. Also got Flynn with his fire tanker. I've got two of these fuel tankers, as well as Cranky, which this was actually a gift the seller threw in because of the little mix-up with Spencer's tender there. But then there was also this scarf, which I think this is actually an accessory piece for another character, possibly Percy. But anyways, go ahead and take a closer look at all these now. Alright, here is James, and you can see this is a special version because it's got the grumpy, dirty face on it. And, you know, that's something I really like with the Capsule Plarail stuff, is they've done different facial expressions on a lot of different characters, and it makes this even more fun to collect when you got something like that. But you can see that James' stickers have been applied, things like the stripes, the numbers, the buffers, and I think even the cab windows, like all those are stickers. And it's nice to see that the person that put these on did a pretty decent job. Sometimes they're all over the place, or I think even in some cases people don't bother putting them on at all. But James also has side rods, and I'm not sure, but I think some of the Capsule Plarail stuff didn't have side rods at the time. But you know, it's nice to have those, especially when the train's moving along. James has a wind-up mechanism, which does work, and I know that sometimes these characters don't come with a wind-up mechanism, but James has it here. And one last thing I'll say with this that kind of is weird, I guess, when I look at James compared with like Spencer and Emily that have separate tenders, you know, James, it's kind of, the way he's done kind of makes him look like a large tank engine. I kind of prefer these characters with separate tenders personally. And speaking of tender engines, here is Spencer, and like I mentioned before, I actually purchased him prior to this, but the seller forgot to put his tender in the package. But, you know, it's here now, and needless to say, he looks a lot better with it. The tender does have some markings, which I believe these would clean up without too much trouble. And, you know, like I was saying with James there, I think the tender engines just look better with the tender separate from the engine. Like I said, James just looks like a large tank engine the way he was done. But Spencer, like the others, has a moving side rods, wind-up mechanism, and I also like the face on this, and this was one big strength that the Capsule Plarail system has, is that the faces look really accurate to the characters, and just, you know, the overall look of the Capsule Plarail stuff, the way it's designed, it's one of those deals, I kind of wish Mattel would have taken a look at this system here when they were doing the Thomas Minis and thought, you know, how can we do something similar to that? Because I've never been a fan of the Thomas minis, and if I had to choose between the minis or the Capsule Plarail stuff, definitely the Capsule Plarail stuff every time. Next one up is Emily, and this is pretty similar to the one that I looked at in my last fan mail unboxing. This one here, however, is a 2009 Emily, whereas the other one was a 2004 Emily with a 2016 tender. But as you can see on the backs here, both these pieces are copyright 2009 Glenn Thomas Limited. And I have to say, condition of Emily really isn't too bad. And I'm not sure if these were stickers. They kind of look like tampos on the side here. But you can see Emily does have a nice looking face. And I really like the attention to detail with this. You can see things like the handrails, the boiler bands. I think that's the dome up top there. Really nicely done. It is a bit odd not seeing the drive wheel under the wheel arch, but I guess I don't see how they could do that. But she does have the working side rods and the wind-up mechanism. And something else I noticed is the coupler on the tender here. You can see how this is free to pivot and such. That is solid on the 2016 tender. And you can also see Emily does have a little bit of wear around the edges, but overall, again, her condition is not too bad. So, of course, I've also got Flynn, and I have to say that I really like the look of this, even though I know for some people Flynn's kind of a controversial character just because, well, he's a fire engine that runs on rails. But again, I do like the look of this Capsule Plarail version, and he does have the same wind-up mechanism that the other characters have, although he doesn't have side rods. I mean, why would he? He's a fire engine. But there is a lot of nice detail to this piece. Unfortunately, the wheels aren't very realistic just because, well, they're molded into the plastic. But he does have a lot of nice other details, such as like these grab handles. Got the water cannons up top, although I think this one might be put on wrong. I can't get it to go the other direction. But also got the ladder detail on the back here. It doesn't function. I do notice the one part here is damaged. I could possibly fix that. And then you've also got the stickers, which add details and such like tools and what have you. And then we've also got the water tanker on the back, which this has filler caps up top. And again, the stickers add detail and what have you. I forgot to mention this, but you know, the face, again, that looks pretty much like Flynn. And you've also got the little spotlight just here on the side. So up next is Frankie, and one thing I'll say right now is that I understand this is accurate, but there's something very unsettling about that face. That creepy smirk she has, that's basically saying to me, I will be your undoing. But that aside, though, I have to say that this is a very nicely detailed Capsule Plarail piece. Frankie is very well represented here. And if you just look at this, you can see, like, over the top here, we've got a lot of little details, like the grab handles. We've also got the bronze chimney, the headlight. Also, doors and vents and panels and such have all been picked out here. We've also got the MSC over the radiator, plus we've also got her running number down below. There's Frankie's name right there, and all this little detail around the cab here. And another nice thing with the cab is you can see on the roof we've actually got a horn, and this is not part of the plastic mold. This is a separately fitted piece. So for them to go the extra mile and add something like that, really nice little detail. And like I said, I do like how Frankie is done here, but again, just that face is, well, unsettling for me. Moving right along, we have Trusty Rusty, and I actually wanted to get my hands on the Capsule Plarail Rusty for a while now, but for whatever reason, like 10 years ago, the Capsule Plarail stuff was stupidly expensive, and I don't know why. It has come down in price, but really nice to have Rusty now, though, and he's not overly detailed, but there's enough here to, you know, go along with his character, I guess. You can see that we got his name on the side along with his number. And I like the detail around the front here. Now, I know some people don't care for Rusty's larger face that he had in Season 5, but, you know, I'm all right with it personally, and I think this is a really nice face. The other side here, the door is actually closed, and that's kind of disappointing when you consider the windows are open. But at the same time, I guess, you know, if the door was open, all that you see in there is the mechanism. There's not really, you know, cab detail or anything. So the fact that it's closed is not that big of a deal, I guess.
Not a whole lot else I can say about this. You know, it's a nicely detailed Rusty for what it is, and I'm very happy to have it. Now, when I got James, he came with these 2 fuel tankers, and I'm really happy I've got 2 of them because it's one of those deals you can never have enough rolling stock. And I have to say that I do like how these look as well. You can see that we've got the flammable symbols on the sides of these, and although the tankers in the show didn't have them, you've got a little bit of ladder detail on these. It's kind of funny, the tanks themselves are like really small compared to the chassis, I guess. But I don't know, it fits in with the Capsule Plarail system and the overall look, so I mean, I'm not going to complain too much. I have to say that I really do like these, and you know, I think in a way they're kind of cute little tankers for the Capsule Plarail system. The last character I got here is Cranky, and remember, this isn't one of the ones that I purchased. This was actually one that the seller threw in as a bonus. And if you go back to my last fan mail unboxing, I did get one of these. However, this one's in better condition because it has its stickers and also the little base piece here on the tower. And like I mentioned before, I like how Cranky is detailed, that you've got all this detail around the tower and such. Plus, you can even see through the windows here where the operator station is at. And I especially like the face because, like I mentioned before, the Capsule Plarail stuff, they had all these different varieties of faces on the characters and such, and Cranky's a good example. But the crane arm does raise and lower, the hook does pivot, and, you know, I'm really happy to have this because it's basically complete. And it'll be another great addition to my growing Capsule Plarail collection. So there's another look at all the Capsule Plarail characters that I just looked at. And what I've done is laid these out basically how I got them, because Emily and Flynn, they were being sold together in one listing. James and the tankers were being sold together in another. Spencer was in the listing with Rheneas that I talked about earlier. Then Rusty and Frankie were also being sold together. And remember that Cranky was actually a freebie that the seller threw in. And as for this little scarf, I didn't spend too much time looking at that, but if anyone happens to know what character it goes to, let me know down in the comments. But something else I've done is I've laid out the other Capsule Plarail characters that I have in my collection. And if you recall, Cranky and Emily came from Douglas Rowe in my last fan mail unboxing. Ashima here, I actually got her back when the Great Race characters came out, and I remember I really liked the look of her. Quite a tedious process to put on all the stickers, but she is a really beautiful Capsule Plarail character, and I mean, even Tina Desai's not that bad looking. But then lastly there's Lady, and she was actually the first one I ever got. Granted, she's a little different because she doesn't have side rods, and some of her other details aren't as elaborate as the others. Plus, I don't remember having to put any stickers on with this. But I think I got her, well over 10 years ago now. I got her at the farm toy show that I attend each year. But I have to say that these characters I have here, the ones I just got in, will make great additions to my rather small collection at this time. Well, I think that's going to be it for this Capsule Plarail unboxing. Definitely got in some great pieces, and also have a nice little collection started here as well. And probably the one that I was most happy about getting was Rusty, just because, again, I've wanted one for so long and finally got it now. But I was also impressed with Flynn, and definitely nice to have 2 fuel tankers here, considering, well, I don't really have that much Capsule Plarail rolling stock. But I guess that's going to be all for now. You guys can feel free to let me know your thoughts on these Capsule Plarails in the comments down below. Also, feel free to let me know if you're a collector of the Capsule Plarail system and how many pieces you have in your collection. But anyways, that's going to be it for now. I'll catch you guys in the next video.